All right, we've set our goals so far. We've learned some tools on how to be better in the classroom and taking tests. Now we need to kind of put it all together by looking at how we manage our time, right? It all comes down to how much time do we have. So how do you currently manage your time? How do you just do it? Do you just go day to day? You know, you've got your schedule to go to class and things like that. You just kind of go on every day. That's one way to do it, right? But another thing is to use a planner. And how many of you actually use a planner? A planner is an extremely important tool, and there's many different types of planners out there. In your planner, you should have some intermediate and short-term goals so you know what you're working for again. It's all part of this plan, right? You want to manage your time to meet and achieve your goals, right? The other thing you want to do is set some checklists, put in some checklists, right, on maybe in each day or something. I am a huge fan of checklists. I find it rather rewarding to be able to cross things off of my checklist. It gives me a sense of accomplishment. Sometimes I will do things that aren't even on my checklist. I will then add them to my checklist just so I can cross them off and feel good about myself. I highly, highly recommend checklists if you don't do that. The other thing, if you're using a planner, is to put in your exam dates. Those dates typically do not change. So if you look at this class where the exams are, they will not change. If you take any other exams from me, my exam dates don't change, and most faculty will not change their exam dates. So get those in so you know what's coming up. All right, so how do you use a planner, and what planner do you use? You can use an electronic one or a paper type planner, right? An electronic one is really nice because it's very accessible in most places. You can use it on your phone or your computer. It's always available to you, right? So it's kind of nice that way. A paper planner is also really nice because I kind of like a paper one because it kind of is more of a calendar kind of thing. I can see it. I like the week at a glance and month at a glance kind of planners that are out there. I can write in it, I can erase it. So there's a lot of advantage that I see from a paper planner. But I also use an electronic one for our family, right? We plan things out for our family in an electronic one. The paper one, the other advantage of that is it doesn't have to be charged each time, right? It's always there. But you could lose it, right? Where the other one's, in the cloud somewhere, so you have a plan somewhere with the electronic version. Whatever you do, pick what works best for you. Maybe it's a combination of the two. My younger son, who's in college, kind of does both of these things. So pick whatever works for you. All right, so let's look at some time management skills. Now that we have our planner, we need to kind of figure out how we're going to manage our time. One thing is to set, again, your intermediate and short-term goals and put those in your planner because that's what you're working for or towards. Again, make checklists in there, set up your schedule, showing, again, all the classes and everything. So set up your schedule in your planner, right? And it should show your classes, the ones that you have. It should show the times that you want to study, and then your work time, like if you're working, and any free time that you might have. Right? So that's what your schedule should show. So your day-to-day, like a week at a glance, will have things that you want to accomplish. That's where your checklists are. But you should put out a schedule that shows you what your day-to-day activities are. And those should include these types of things. Here is an example of a schedule, right? It starts out me getting up at 6 and having breakfast, getting ready, and then I travel to class, right? I review before I teach. There's when I teach, and then I have some post-review if I'm taking review notes or whatever. This looks very, very busy, and every time I put this up, students' eyes go, "You've got to be kidding me. There's no way." Well, yeah, you really should kind of plan it, at least for a number of different reasons. One is to see if you put in your classes and how much time you need to study. Remember, the book says 2 hours per class credit, so 6 hours a week for a 3-credit class, or 9 for an engineering class. Not this one, but other ones coming up in the future, right? How do they fit in with everything else you have to do in your life, right? Leave some time for yourself to exercise, leave some time for friends, leave some time for family, leave some time that's just open that you can do whatever you want to do. But you should set up a schedule like this. And you may find that it isn't doable, right? With all your work and everything, you can't fit everything in. Something has to give then, right? And you kind of have to evaluate and look at that. So a lot of you, I'm sure, are working, right? Everybody's doing something to try and make some money to pay for school because you don't want to be in debt when you get out of school. And I don't blame you. That is important, and really you should kind of look at that, right? But you're also at school, and you're at school and you're working to pay for your school, right? And there's this balance between the two. How much do I have to work to pay for school, right? And how much do I have to study, and can I be working? It's this horrible balance between these two. One thing I want you to remember, though, is that you're working to get a degree, and that degree should be bringing up your career. So you're working to get the degree, to finish your schooling, to get your career on a different path, your life on a different path. So kind of look at that when you're going forward, right? So spend a lot of concentrated time on the school part. Do your best, of course, for your work, right? You're getting paid for it and everything, but realize that you're trying to get this degree. Some of you may be working at a place that you'll end up at the end, right? I've had students that were working as quality people doing measurements, quality technicians, and they wanted to be the quality engineer there. Well, then you kind of have to balance it out better. But hopefully your company then is giving you time to finish your schooling to get, again, this